Hello everyone, my name is Sherry Minnie. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I live in the state of Colorado and I just recently celebrated my 15th year as being a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I've used Stampin' Up! Products much longer than that, but I've actually been a demo for 15 years. Today I'm going to be featuring a card that we did in my annual Christmas Stamp-A-Stack. That's an event I do every year. I have several ladies who have attended many years in a row. We have a potluck and we just have a really fun afternoon, morning and afternoon, and just a fun time. And gets everybody a good start on their Christmas cards. So here's the one we're doing today. It's kind of simple, just a little bit of die cutting. We're using some glimmer paper. It says Peace on Earth on the front, as you can see, and on the inside I just said Merry Christmas. So the products that we're using today are the Peace on Earth bundle, the stamp set, and the dies. We're using several of the dies. We're using the doves that I absolutely love. We're using these labels here. The stamp set, I think I'm using Peace on Earth. And then we're also using the traditional labels bundle that comes with matching dies, and we're using some of the dies. And I don't know if I used any of these stamps or not. I'll have to look and see. I've done this card quite some time ago. As always, the two items that I just showed you are bundles, and if you would have any interest in purchasing one, you get a 10% discount when you buy the bundle. You can find them at my online store at sherryminnie.stampinup.net, and I will have a blog post on this at simplylovestampin.com in the next day or two. So to begin with, we will have our packet of materials. We have, as always, our nice Stampin' Up! Envelope that is just wonderful to stamp on. You'll have a thick basic white card base. This is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. It's kind of a book fold, it's what I usually do. You'll have a scrap piece of regular basic white, which is thinner, and this is about 2.5 inches by, I think I made it 8.5, so you can get your doves and everything that you need off of here. You'll have a piece of the Peace on Earth Designer Series paper, and I'm sorry I can't show you this paper because this is the last piece and little strip that I have left. I used it all. But it's beautiful paper. It's got lots of, if you love doves, it's got some beautiful dove images. It is still available at my online store. You'll have a piece of glimmer paper. This is also from the Peace on Earth. It comes in three different colors, I think it is. And again, I have very little left. This is the very pretty blue. You'll have a scrap that you'll cut out one of the die labels from the Peace on Earth stamps or die set, and that's actually the larger label right here. That's what I cut this out with. You can cut this out of the middle to save on paper, and then it'll, because this will be covered and nobody will even know, but I already had a scrap, so I just cut it out of that. Then you will have a piece of, in this particular instance, I used cloud cover. And out of the cloud cover, we're going to be cutting out a couple of different, let's see, I think I cut out, what did I cut out with this? The small die from the Peace on Earth, and then we will be cutting out one of the dies from the traditional labels, and you'll cut all of that out on that. And then out of our white piece, in addition to, we'll cut out this label from the traditional labels for us to stamp our greeting on the inside, and we will cut out our two doves from the Peace on Earth die set, and that'll be all of our die cutting, and I have already done that. So you'll see here you have this piece right here. Here are our two doves, and out of the what did I do with that? And out of this, you have this piece and that piece. Okay? And excuse me just a minute, it's getting quite warm in my room. I best be taking off my extra jacket. I'm always freezing after I have lunch, so I always put on an extra jacket, then I get too warm. We're having our kind of a cooler day, although it's going to be in the 50s tomorrow on Thanksgiving Day. I'm filming this on Wednesday, the day before. Actually trying to get a couple of videos done since I've been out for a bit. But here's everything that we need, and we'll get started with our stamping and our putting everything together. Let me put all my dies over here so I don't hopefully lose anything. Oh, and we're also going to be using from the Peace on Earth die set this little tiny sprig that we're going to actually put in the dove's beaks. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to do we'll work on our doves first of all so they can be drying, and then we'll do some stamping. So the other thing I didn't show you, we're going to be using our Wink of Stella. The only ink pad we're using is not over here. That's going to be oh yes it is. It's just hiding from me. I did not show you everything. So we're using one ink pad, Secret Sea, and then we're using the Blue Flowers, which is goes along with this set of dies or bundle that I'm using. And in addition to that, we're going to be using our Wink of Stella pen, and what I'm going to do with that is we're just going to highlight. I think you can probably see it on my sample. See how we sparkled up the tips of the wings and stuff on the doves. So to do that, we just take our Wink of Stella pen. It's got this pretty glittery liquid in it, and we'll just go along the edge of our wings on all our doves. Make them look kind of sparkly. Hope you're all doing well. I'm doing fine. I've had some medical procedures done, but I'm on the road to recovery and not going out and about much because I had eye surgery and I look pretty bad. I look like I've been in a street fight. But you know what? It'll pass. It'll heal, and hopefully my vision issues will be resolved. That kind of came out in a glob, but I'm just going to put a little bit more in. Okay, so there's one. We'll let that dry. And here is the second one. And you can go over this several times depending on how much you want, how much sparkle you want on it. I usually go over it once and then let it dry, and sometimes I'll run over it again and my pen is not working the way it's supposed to. There we go. It's just to highlight them. And I'm all about the sparkle. Oh, another thing that I forgot to bring over here was you can see that these doves do not have an eye. So I just took a black pen, which I didn't bring and I don't want to mess it up. And I just took a little tiny eye. You can see on the sample. I believe it'll show up. I just put a little tiny eye on each one, and I'll do that after we get our card done here because I didn't bring it over here. Okay, we're done with the Wink of Stella. Now let's get some stamping done. So we need to do our Peace on Earth, which is right here. And then on the inside, I did Merry Christmas, and it's actually 2 different stamps. And I'm going to use my piercing mat to give me a little bit of a foam cushion underneath, since these are photopolymer stamps. For those of you that have used Stampin' Up! Products, they are no longer going to be making any red rubber stamps. They will now all be the clear photopolymer, which I'm perfectly fine with. I liked it better actually because I could see right where I'm stamping. But as soon as their current supply of the red rubber is exhausted, then everything will be photopolymer. And the whole industry is kind of heading that direction. You don't find very many companies that are doing. I need to test this, make sure it's going to stamp. So I only have one. There we go. All right, I think we can get this done. Hopefully we can get it straight so I don't mess up. With my eye surgery that I had, or eyelid surgery, my vision is not the very best. Okay, now for the Merry Christmas, I stamped the Christmas first because it's considerably larger. I wanted to make sure I had room for it. And it's kind of a wiggly stamp, so it doesn't really matter if it doesn't look like it's totally straight. And then I centered this Merry right over, and there we go. And I think that's, let's see, what else? That's it for the stamping. That's all we have to do. All right, so we're done with that. Now, we will, I guess while I'm waiting for some things to dry, I'm going to take my little dubs. I made a little strip that we're going to put on our envelope. I think we'll do that while everything is kind of drying a little bit, and we can get that all done and not have to worry too much about it. I always use this because as I've said many times, on your envelopes, you want to make sure you get all the edges down really well so it doesn't catch on post office machines and they don't rip up your card or not even refuse to even take it because it's got all this other stuff on it. And I'm just, let's see. I don't know which way I want. Do we want our bird? I think I want my bird going this direction. Doesn't really matter. I don't think they could be kind of like dive bombing, I guess. Anyway, we'll get it down here. Take my... Well, I'll tell you, do you ever get a cart that's just so full of stuff now I need to really organize and clean it out because I can't find anything? I kind of go in streaks. Everything gets put away, and then I have a bit of a time where I just kind of get lazy and don't put stuff back where they belong. So we'll just trim this off. Envelope is all done. I'm gonna wipe this glue off. Okay, now we need to put our designer series paper on our glimmer paper. Now, one of the issues with glimmer paper is because of the surface, glue does not want to adhere to it very easily. At my Stamp-A-Stack, we used glue dots, which do work, but boy, is it a pain. And we put glue dots all over this piece, and it took the girls quite a while, and it was rather frustrating. I totally agreed with them. So what we're going to try today, what I would normally do, I use my liquid glue, and I cover it. I put it down here, and then I put a block on top of it, and I let it set for several minutes, and it will dry and catch on, but it takes some time, and I don't have that kind of time when we're doing a video. So this is called tear and tape. It's double-sided tape. It's pretty sticky, and I'm putting an overabundance of it. You can actually tear it off, but I don't like to do that. I use my scissors, and that's what we're going to try, and we'll see if it works. The one thing you want to do is make sure you burnish down the tape real good so when you go to pull it off, you don't get the tape and the backing at the same time. And all I do is I take my pokey tool, I slip it under one edge, and I pull them off. Now when I put it down on the glimmer paper, again, I'm going to really rub it down and try to get it to adhere, but it is hard. It doesn't like to stick. And I love glimmer paper. I think it's the prettiest thing ever, but it's a bit of a challenge to work with sometimes. Do y'all have big plans for tomorrow? I'm actually having a very quiet day. I can't do much with my eye surgery. And so my husband will be going to my daughter's. I normally host, but I will not be this year. And I'm just going to have a quiet day here at home and work in my studio, I think. Get some things done. Christmas will be here a month from today, which is just absolutely unreal. All right, and we're going to rub this down really very firmly and pray that this sticks. Okay, now we're going to put this on the front of here. Now the back of the glimmer paper, you don't have to worry about. It sticks very easily, and I do put a little extra because the glimmer is a little bit heavier than your normal cardstock. And we'll make sure it sticks. And we will put this on the front. This is a pretty quick card once you get the die cutting done. Doesn't take long. As I say, we did this at our Stamp-A-Stack, and everybody really liked it, except for putting the glue dots on. It was not fun. So I'll try this, and if this works, then next time we'll do that. Okay, now I have my piece of glimmer paper label, and again, I think I'm going to take some tear and tape If I can find out remember where I laid it. I just laid it somewhere. Where did I lay it? Can you all tell me where I laid it? I know you can see it. Okay, I'm using my eye surgery as an excuse because I can't find it anywhere. What did I do with it? Oh, there it is in my basket. See, you put things away and then you can't find them. So I'm just going to take 3 quick strips and put across here. I should have had this already put on here and I wasn't thinking about that part. This wouldn't have been too bad to do glue dots because there's not a very large surface, but we'll just try this. The nice thing about it here, if mine starts to fall apart, I can just get my liquid glue out and put it underneath it and stick it down. So I'm going to take my bone folder and just burnish this down really well. Take my pokey tool. My take your pick tool, I guess is actually the proper name, but I've called it pokey tool for so many years I can't retrain my brain. There we go. Okay, and now this is going to be centered on our label, and it fits very nicely, and it really does show the glimmer off, which I just love. And this blue is a very pretty blue. Okay, I'm going to turn it over, and again I'm going to take my okay, and we are going to, we'll get our inside done. So this one is pretty simple. This just goes on our label. Now you'll see here on the label, it has this little thing that runs right, and I tore it, but I'm going to glue it down. You won't even be able to tell it. So I didn't redo it. And this is going to go in the middle. About like so. And then I do think I can stick this right there. We'll put this. Remember glimmer paper way back when it was just, it would shed everywhere. Nobody liked using it, and now it doesn't do that. It's so nice to have it still be sparkly, but you don't have sparkly everywhere. And we're going to put this down, and I'm going to take my green cap glue, and I'm just going to put the tiniest little dot. Hopefully this will work. If I can get my glue to come out, which it doesn't want to. I'll try this. Ooh, too much. Too much glue. Let's take a little bit of that off. And then I'm going to stick this underneath. And you never even know that got torn. Okay, there's our inside all done. Now all we have to do on the front is to take our dimensionals. I did pop this up. And we have to do our doves, and we will be all done. Put one in the middle. Keep it from smashing down. There we go. And we'll put the piece on earth right about in the middle. Trying to center it and get it as straight as I possibly can. Okay, now for the doves. So what I did to get my little teeny tiny twigs, or what do we want to call these? Twigs, I guess. what I did is I took a glue dot and I took my pokey tool and I took a glue dot and I just really wadded it up on the edge of my pokey tool, and then I put it, hopefully you can see this, I put it behind the beaks, the bird's beak. I did that on both of them. So take the glue dot, I took it off, and then I wound it up on my, made a little ball of it on my, into my pick your pick tool, and I stuck it on the bird. And then I just took my bird and I decided where I wanted it to have the twig to go. I want this one up and out, and I just stuck it down like that. And it's pretty simple to get it. Oh, and this one we want to go the other direction because this bird's flying in a different direction. And I just did that. And you can wiggle them a little bit. You want to get them up and out over. Okay, now we are going to place them here, but since this is popped, since our glimmer piece is popped up, I need some of this to be popped up. So I took a dimensional, and actually I think I'll use the little ones because there's not a whole lot of room here. And I put one on the tail, and I put one on the bottom of the wings. Take them off. Let's see, I want this to be. And then I just placed it. And I also took my glue and I put a little bit of glue here. Ooh, not that much. My glue is really running all over today. And we're going to place that like right there. Okay, and we'll do the same thing with this one. This one's going to be on the label a little bit more. So really only place I'm putting dimensionals are on the wings. So we'll put one up here, and we'll put one down there, and then let me look at it and see if I think that's enough. I think that's perfect. And then we can put a little glue on this because there's quite a bit of this one sticking on the label. Oops, forgot to take the backings off my dimensionals. Okay, now the only other thing we have left to do is to put on our embellishments, and I put, well, I kind of, let's see, can I move this a little bit? I don't know if I can. Kind of got this down a little too far. Let's pull this up and move it up just a little bit. Oh, please don't tear. I don't like to do this. It makes me very nervous. Okay, there we go. Now, see, I need to be able to, that's close enough. Okay, now we're going to take our pretty flowery embellishments, and we're going to put one here, one here, And let's see, did I do a third one? I normally always do 3, but I can't see it. My eyes are so, oh yes I did. I see it down there in the bottom. And these will show up better on the white, and then I put one down here. Okay, I think, ladies and gentlemen, we are done. So not too bad. Took me a little bit longer. I apologize. But again, here's the one we just completed. You can see I used a different kind of paper. This one I used the dark and the Secret Seed glimmer paper. So again, I thank you all for taking time to watch my little videos, whether you do it during the daytime or the evening. It is greatly appreciated. Every view that I get helps my channel, and I just love the fact that some people care enough to watch. So may God bless each and every one of you. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and I'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.